Hello there. So it's yet another day, and the fighting in Kivu, in east of Congo, is getting bad. And before I continue, we need to answer some questions in this video. One of them being, has the M23 rebels captured the town of Sake? And if they have captured the town of Sake, is there a possibility that they are advancing on the city of Goma? So stay here as I tell you more. Now, as today morning, there have been heavy fighting between the M23 and Rwandan troops versus the Congolese army and Wazalendo. So crashes have been reported since very early in the morning today in the region of Malehe, in the Cameroon grouping in Masisi territory, which is a few kilometers from the town or the city of Sake. And after that fighting, there have been detonation of mortars from morning and explosion of bombs being dropped on these rebel positions by the jets, the Sukhoi 25 jets. And it's this explosion and detonation that has created fear among the residents of Sake. These has made some of them, a good number of them, as precaution to start moving towards the city of Goma. So residents of Sake, as you can see from these videos, are moving towards the city of Goma. Not all of them, but mostly women and children, because they fear that these enemies, the M23 rebels and their Rwandan-backed, soldiers, might win against the Congolese soldiers and take the city or the town of Sake. So the fights are getting closer and closer according to some of them. Remember, the city of Sake is located about 27 kilometers west of the city of Goma. And these residents are living in droves. Some of them are joining the internally displaced persons camps located around the city of Goma. We have 4 or 5 of such camps hosting close to 400,000 internally displaced people because of what these rebels from Rwanda are, doing there. And I know a lot of people keep saying partisan. They will start saying you keep accusing them of being Rwandans. But there's no need to lie. It is 2024, for God's sake. Who do you think is arming them? Do you know how much a mortar costs? Now imagine a rebel group that has enough mortars to sustain a war for 2 years. And in a battle like today, they've been firing mortars for close to 5 hours. That is more mortars maybe than the Ukrainians are throwing at the Russians. Sorry to say that, but think about it. If they fired 500 mortars, for example, where do you think the mortars come from? No country in Africa, few countries in Africa manufacture mortars. These are things that have been imported from overseas, and I don't think the M23 as a rebel group has the power to import mortars in such a huge numbers, unless of course they're being supported by a certain country. So let's stop pretending. Back to the story. So as I said, the fighting is heavy there. Now let's answer our questions. Have they captured the town or the city of Sake? The answer is no. No. They're fighting about 5 to 10 kilometers away from the city. The Congolese army has always been here around Sake and Mishaki all those years since 2022. So they are well dug in. That's what we say in military language. Dug in meaning they have trenches, they have defensive positions. They're very good at this region. So because they knew from the start, the M23, soldiers or fighters wanted to take this region here, right? So they have not allowed them to take it, right? So that is a fact. So as I said yesterday, they were here in Kiroche, and they, of course, last night they were moving north under the cover of the night, right? You can imagine. And they're trying to come here. So if you look at the distance of where they want to come and where they are, it's about 4 kilometers. If they had covered half of that distance, it means they're about 1.5 kilometers. That's where they're firing the mortars from. So they are very close to the city of Sake. One of the mortar landed in a market in Sake, and 2 people were injured. So you'll see those photos online. If I find one, I'll share it here. So there's the guys in the marketplace looking at the hole that was created by one of the mortar or one of the bombs. Maybe it's a bomb that strayed away from the jet. I don't know which is which, but it landed in a marketplace. No one was killed, but some 2 or 3 people, according to the reports, were injured. Now, the goal is to capture Sake, and after capturing Sake, they can set up defensive position from any wave of Congolese army coming from Goma. And if they do that, and remember, they already have control of Kichanga or north of Kichanga in Mweso, then they can now set their eyes on Rubaya. Remember, initially that's where the goal was. They wanted Rubaya. Now, Rubaya is a region here that has coltan, right? So if we come to the map, this is Rubaya for you. And on this side, these are where you find the mines of Rubaya. They want coltan. This war is about coltan. Everyone knows that. But there's also the issue of ethnicity, and that's what they want to tell the world. Oh, the Tutsi people are being killed in Congo, but we don't see that. If they are being killed, where are those graves or the names of the people being killed? They will never show you that. So then they say there's this group called FDRL. It wants to eat our people. FDRL is a group there that ran from Rwanda. But they are there also for safety. They ran to Congo for safety because they were being hunted, right? And I'm not going to excuse what they did before they came to Congo. But they are not there to create trouble, as Paul Kagame is trying to tell us. So he should come forward and tell us the real reason why he thinks that he should take this territory. Now, the other question: do you think they are going to advance on the city of Goma? It's doubtful. But if by any miracle they capture the city of Goma, you get what I'm saying? If by any chance, if by a miracle they capture this prized, coveted prize of the city of Goma with 1.5 million people, it's going to be the biggest win for this group and the biggest embarrassment to the Congolese government. As a matter of fact, the government in Kinshasa might lose legitimacy from the people. The people will start asking Gisekedi to step down all over the place. They will start seeing a lot of rebel groups, coming up all over the place, basically. In the north, in the middle of Congo, in the south, there'll be fightings and people agitating for the government to step down and let another person take over. That is what is going to happen. Or asking the same government to negotiate with Rwanda for a settlement. Of course, Rwanda wants the Tutsi people, who are the minority in this region of Masisi and around Goma and the North Kivu, to have a bigger say. So they were saying, if you saw in 2022 the demands of the M23, they wanted the seat for the governor of North Kivu to always be reserved for the Tutsi. The region itself has close to 4 million people, 5 million people, and the Tutsi there make less than 1 million. Maybe even less than 500,000. I could be wrong, but they are less than 500,000. But they want the governor seat to be basically only meant for them. So when you are doing voting and elections, the governor seat has only to be left to these people to decide who among them is going to be the governor of the province of North Kivu. That is one of the demands. The other thing was that some of the fighters in the M23 need to be given ranks in the Congolese army. So if the M23, a 21-year-old guy is already a major or a captain, so they want that 21-year-old fighter to come to the Congolese army and earn the rank of a captain and start ordering soldiers senior than him, 30, 35 around, telling them, go there, come here, those kind of things. So that's what they also want. So meaning if you want to get a higher rank in the Congolese army, you better join M23, because if they do the deal, anyone with a rank, that same rank will go to the Congolese army. It's absurd. It's just stupidity. But that's what they were saying. It's something that can't be done. Now, imagine the seat of the governor has to be given to the minority group in a region. So that is not possible. It's absurd. So I was saying, if by any chance they take the city of Goma, then the flow of illegal minerals will be happening almost every minute between Rwanda and Congo. And Paul Kagame will have won, because now if they control the whole of Goma and the people there are his troops, M23 troops, then he's going to smuggle minerals from Rubaya and other region and bring them to Rwanda. Basically, Kivu, or the north of Kivu, will be an extension of both Rwanda and Uganda. That's not possible. It's absurd. But that's what they want. And that's why they are dying, fighting to do that.